Hello, good morning, everyone. You're welcome to Summarise class, a channel where we make learning so easy and observable. Today we say we'll have an online class. Sorry for the wait. It's like we had one or two challenges that we had to see to it that it is being resolved so that we can come your way. We are excited to have you. This is our first online class, like a live one that we are having, and we are much delighted that you gave in the support, and then you pen down that yes, today we'll be meeting, and then you're on our screen. You are welcome. Today we are going to be treating two subjects. We look at English language and mathematics. English language and mathematics. We'll start with the English first for the section 1. Then we are done section 2 or phase 2. We will look at mathematics. Today we are going to look at English language. And what are we doing today? Today we are going to look at summarizing. Now in Form 3, Strand 2, we have reading. Strand 2 in our English language, in our curriculum, we have reading. And Substrand 1 is comprehension. Substrand 2 is summarizing. We want to look at summarizing. Another time we'll look at comprehension. We'll take composition, the essays, grammar, and then we'll look at how we go about them. Formerly, summarizing was not part of our old curriculum, but with our new one, it has been introduced. It means that students should expect that in exams, you'll be given passages to summarize. How do you go about it? How do you summarize? What are the features of a good summary? How do you go about it? What are the rubrics, the do's and the don'ts? Today we are going to explore on this few minutes or 1 hour session that we have to treat English language. You are welcome. Please get your pen, get your books, a pencil. You need to pen something down so you get there. It's not math, it's English. So put the calculator aside for now. We'll look at maths also very soon. So let us look at summarizing. Summarizing. So I'm in class now. I'm in my class today being holiday. Students are on break, so I took the opportunity to come and take you through some lessons. I've been busy, so today I said no. My students, my learners, we need to learn today. So I'm much excited to have you. Today I'm going to look at summarizing. If you just joined, you are welcome to Summarise class. We have a live online class today, and we are looking at summarizing in English language. Now, summarizing. Now, from the word summarizing, we'll get the word called summary out of it. Summary. Summary. We'll get the word summary out of the word summarizing. So let us look at what summary is, and we'll look at what summarizing is. Now, when we say summary, I would say summary is a brief or a shortened form of explaining an idea. A brief or shortened form of explaining an idea. That is what we term as a summary. So from the word summarizing is the act of you doing it. So out of that summarizing, you get what we call a summary. A summary. So sometimes they will say what? Make a summary of this passage in words not less than 80, or in words not more than 80. You are going to make a summary. You are going to what? Shorten or make a brief form of the whole context given to you. So in your comprehension, sometimes we give you a reading extract, and then we ask you to solve questions under it. Now you can have another form where they will ask you to summarize. So to make a summary, which means what? You make a shortened or a brief form of the main context given you, or you explain the main idea but in a shortened form. Now in English language, language, we call something the synopsis. The synopsis. You make what? Synopsis of the context or of the passage that you've been given. You make what? Synopsis. So synopsis is making something brief, but it should include the main idea. The main idea. And we also have what we call analysis. For analysis, you give what? A detailed information or a detailed format of the main idea. You get it? Yes. So under summarizing, we will take what we call synopsis. You give out just what the relevant or the main idea of the passage or the context. So sometimes after watching movie, mommy asks, oh, so I could hear what happened in the movie. Now you can't tell mommy exactly what happened in the movie. You can't start from the beginning to where they went for commercial break and give no. Probably I'm going to give the main thing that occurred, the plot, the sequence. So you give us the relevant aspect of the movie. So let's go. There was a time where Akusia went to pay some money, and his daddy had to give her some slap. From there, Akusia moved her. So you give us what? Relevant aspects. So find out what happened to Akusia. Oh, her life transformed. She had a better life. That's the summary. A brief or shortened form of explaining an idea. I believe you are okay with that. Now let us look at summarizing. This is a summary. What is summarizing? Summarizing is the act of making a summary. That is all. Summarizing is the act of making a summary. The act where you start to write or start to make a shortened form of the whole note or the whole passage. That is what we term as what? Summarizing. So the act of you doing it is what? You summarizing it. But what you prepare out of what you've done is what we call a summary. I believe you get it. Yeah, they are related. There's nothing different here. They are related. To make a summary or to summarize or summarizing the passage, they are all related. So when we say summarizing, summarizing involves what? Making brief or shortened form of an explained idea or shortened form of explaining an idea. Please, you get it? That is summarizing or summary. A whole concept about summarizing or summary. Now, in summarizing, only relevant ideas are required. Only relevant ideas are required. In summarizing and in summary, we only require relevant ideas. Unnecessary informations are not accepted or are not required. Examples, illustrations, facts, thoughts are not really needed in summarizing, but rather we need the main idea of the whole passage. So let's analyze this. For example, I have let's say a story about Kokwa Nancy. A whole story where he lives, his family, the work he does, etc. Now, if I'm asked to make a summary, or if I'm asked to summarize that passage, I then need to sit down, read the thing over, and understand what the passage is trying to talk about. The passage is trying to talk about Kokwa Nancy, yes, but there's a main thing that the passage is stressing on. Maybe an attitude of Kokwa Nancy. Maybe he's trying to talk about how he treats his family. Maybe he's trying to talk about how wiseful he is. So probably there's going to be a paragraph of the summary where they are going to hit on something about Kokwa Nancy that the preceding paragraphs will also what? Make reference to that particular idea. You get it? So I now need to read, understand what the passage is about, and then I now make my synopsis, or I make what? A summary. I now need to take the relevant information out of it, and then a shortened form. So if the whole passage is like 200 words, I'm to make like 80 words out of it. I've made what you call a summary, or I have summarized, or I am summarizing. You get it? Yes. So in summary, We only require relevant ideas. Now there's an author, let me say an author, or let me say a poet, okay, an English poet or novelist. So let me say a novelist called William Shakespeare. I believe you've all heard about him. He has written lots of books. We've all read about his books. In senior high, we read a book called Othello, which was written by him, some poems and etc. Now he made a statement, and I want to quote. All right, he said, "Since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief." So I quote. He said, "Since brevity is the soul of wit and since brevity is the soul of wit and tediousness the lens and outward flourishing." Tediousness, the limbs, and outward flourishes. I will be brief. So what was Shakespeare trying to talk about? He said that as a human being, as an individual, you need to be brief in your sayings, in your thoughts, in everything. So he says, since brevity is the soul of wit and tediousness, the lens and outward flourishes, I will be brief. So he made this quote that as a human being, you shouldn't be writing too long. You shouldn't be talking about a whole lot of things. If we are asked to tell us something, you just make a summary. You just tell us the main or relevant idea of the whole situation, the whole event. So you are being interviewed about an accident. We ask you, what happened? So you don't need to tell us the car was coming from here, and the car moved here. Probably are going to spend a lot of time. So, as at this time, to my eyes or to my sight, I saw this car moving from this direction. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened. There was a failure of brake or something, and then the car crashed. At that instance, about 2 or 3 people lost their lives. That is all. But to start from how the car was coming, speed, that. So, William Shakespeare is telling you and I that since brevity, there's a weight of there's the soul of wit and tediousness and the limbs, and outward flourishes. We should be brief in our sayings. I believe you are flowing. I believe you are enjoying the class. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section box, and then I will attend to you. Okay, now let's continue. Now, what are the requirements of summary? I'm going to look at requirements of summary. Requirements of summary. Requirements of summary. So, what are the requirements of a summary? If you want to make a summary, what do you require from you? It's a short break. Yeah, so if you want to make a summary, what are the requirements? What do we require of you? Now, before you begin to summarize, you consider the following. Before you make any summary, you need to consider the following. What are some of the things that you need to consider? One, you read the passage several times. One, you read a passage several times. So before, as I was saying, before you make any summary, probably in a context, in a passage, in your exam, they'll give you a passage and ask you to summarize. Before you make that summary, one, you need to read the passage several times. So that's why this part or this section is under reading. So you read, you understand, and then you summarize. You get the relevant points and then you summarize. So in summary or in summarizing, one, you need to read the passage several times. Even in your comprehension, you're supposed to read several times. We have forms of reading, the reading skills. We have what we call skimming, that is glancing through the passage. We have scanning, looking out for answers to questions given you. We also have what we call intensive reading. Reading where you read for academic purposes. You read what has been given, the material given you. If it is a textbook, you read the textbook to answer questions that will be given in exams. We also have what we call extensive reading. For that one, you read extensively. That's you read outside the material given you. So let's say I want to study about, let's say, the history of Ghana. Or let's say the 1992 Constitution of Ghana and social studies. I don't only read the social studies textbook, but I can go outside it, go on and read about the history of the Constitution. How can we have the Constitution? Probably the book will make just a summary, capture main points, but I will go that extra mile to get a lot of information to feed myself. That is what we call extensive reading. So mostly in comprehension, we adapt the skimming and the scanning. The skimming is just a quick reading. So if you are given a comprehension passage, read quickly. Then you go the second time, scanning. That's where you now try to look for answers, try to underline certain words. And then third one, you do what we call a close reading, intensive reading to acquire answers from the passage. So before you summarize, one, you need to read. In reading, you can identify relevant points and you can also get the main idea of the passage. Second point is you have to ensure that you understand it clearly. Yes. So understanding the passage. Yeah, you need to understand what you are actually reading. Yes. Comprehension is about reading and understanding. So after reading, you need to understand. Okay, I've read about accident. What's the main thing here about this road accident? They are trying to tell me some causes. What brings about the car accident? They are trying to tell me some effects. So they are doing that to educate me. So the main idea is about causes of road accidents. Or probably I think it's talking about accident, but I should identify what aspect of accident are they talking about. Is it some causes? Is it some effects? Or how I can prevent road accident? The third one is do not make any interpretation. Avoid making interpretations. What is the rationale behind this? Do not make interpretations or avoid making interpretations. Now what they are trying to say is that upon reading, don't try to interpret or translate how you understand it to your level. So probably after reading any comprehension, we say understand. After understanding, try relating it to your language or how you understand it. Now you don't translate, you don't interpret anything. Here your duty is to read, get the understanding, and try to figure out the main idea of the passage, but not to interpret. So for example, the road accident. So carelessness is one major cause of road accidents in Ghana. Most drivers are too careless in such a way that they fail to obey certain requirements that will safeguard their life against road accidents. So here you've read, now you now want to what? Interpret it to your understanding. Okay, so you're trying to say that road accidents, because here we are not asking you to use the road accident to answer questions. This one is not comprehension. To answer question. Here, you want to read, understand, and now present a shortened form of it. You get it? So we are saying that, one, to save time. Yes, to save time. And then two, to avoid what? You introducing your own thoughts. Because in summary, your thoughts, your expression, your idea are not required here. Not at all. They are not required. They are not required. So maybe you have other courses of road accident that you know. So you try what? Adding it to the summary. No. For that one, no. You are not going to get the required marks. So we don't interpret. But for interpreting, you now what? Get new ideas, new points, and then you include. And it's not allowed in summary. Your thoughts, your expressions are not allowed in summary. You get it? So that's the interpretation we are talking about. The next one also talks about present the facts clearly. Present facts clearly. Yes, facts should be presented clearly. It should be clear, it should be simple, understandable, and clear. Don't beat about the bush. Just go straight to the point. Don't beat about the bush. Just go straight to the point. It should be clear, simple, and understandable. The next one. Focus on major points and omit minor points. You focus on major points and omit minor points. It's very important in summary. You always omit or forget about the minor point and then concentrate on the major point. Yes, the major point of the passage. You always concentrate on that. The next one is talking about there's no need for introduction or conclusion. So no introduction or conclusion is required. So in summary, we don't require any introduction or conclusion from you. This one is not composition, mind you. There is reading and comprehension. The strand is strand 2, reading. And here you are made to make a summary. Just shorten it. It's not a composition for you to what? Imagine the imaginable and the unimaginable. We say what? Essays are full of lies, fiction and non-fiction, or fiction, yeah, imaginable ones. Here, no. We don't require introduction. We don't require conclusion. We don't require any address. We don't require any salutation. No. Here, they are not needed. Is that clear? It's not an essay, it's comprehension. So you just shorten it, write a shortened form of it. Just begin from where the passage is beginning, and then you can also end at where it is ending. But don't write everything, the major points. We'll look at an example, look at how we go about it. The next one is you should be concise, formal. Should be concise and formal. And no use of impersonal style. It should be concise, formal, and there's no use of impersonal style. So concise means you should be clear, very simple and brief. Formal means what you use for formal languages. So here the use of don'ts, can'ts, they are not what? Accepted over here. We do not accept them. In some slanging, you slang, no, you slang. See, hi, Charlie, like slanging, certain form of informal conversations are not allowed in some. It should be formal, it should be concise. Impersonal, so what's the impersonal stuff? The use of I, you. So I was, you are. The thing is not talking about you do. So I. So maybe Kofi, there was a point where Kofi was speaking. He said, I went to that side shouldn't be included. So Kofi went to, not I, not you. Get it? Then the next one, yes, so do not use I or you. It's also part. And then use your own words.